and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. And welcome back to the Lightning Flash Update right here on YouTube.com. You already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the Lightning Flash Update for December 22nd, 2017. We only got 3 days till Christmas. And we are going to jump right into the weekly show reviews. Not that much going on in the week of wrestling as far as as far as Raw, SmackDown, and 205 Live goes. Crowds were awful. They were awful for all 3 shows. NXT, though, was phenomenal. And then we got like a few news, rumors, and reports. And in the end is the debut of the all-new Christmas song that was written by yours truly. But let's get right into the weekly show review. So, it was a 4-highlight show on Monday Night Raw. Kurt Angle kicked us off. Strowman came out. Kane came out. Lesnar came out. Kurt Angle basically stated that it's a triple threat match. God help us. I'm telling you right now. We are going to be in for the most boring triple threat match in history. Possibly in WWE history. What is Kane going to add to this match? What? Strowman, he already got his shot at Lesnar. And Strowman's shot at Lesnar was a disaster. Kane is 50 years old. I don't care if it's some type of thank you tour. I don't care if it's some type of send-off tour. Kane does not deserve to be in this match. If they were going to give Strowman the Universal Championship, should have given it to him at No Mercy. Balor would have been a much better choice. Balor, I think, would have put up a better fight than Kane and Strowman. Anyway, Lesnar basically stood tall with an F5. That was completely unnecessary, completely useless. It's going to be the most boring triple threat match in WWE history come Royal Rumble Philly. Looks like we are going to be in for another shitty Royal Rumble. So Jason Jordan came out before the match between Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe. Jordan wanted Joe. Joe came out. He basically stated, I'm the belle of the ball. Everyone wants to dance with me. Jordan versus Rollins was announced. The crowd was trash, chanting, "This is boring." 5 minutes into the match, Rollins defeated Jason Jordan. It turned out to be a good match. And then Samoa Joe attacked both men. Bray Wyatt, he cut a promo on Broken Matt Hardy. This was actually one of the good things about Raw. The Miz Taraj took on Finn Balor in a handicap match. They got DQ'd. This was another highlight of Raw. Hideo Itami saved Balor, and Hideo Itami and Balor defeated the Miz Taraj. I'm happy that Itami got his little moment on Monday Night Raw, because his moment on 205 Live was terrible, even though it was actually good in my eyes, and because of the crowd. Then we had Cedric Alexander defeating Drew Gulak, and he got a title opportunity. This was actually a very good match. Cedric Alexander and Drew Gulak, they put on a hard-hitting affair. Gulak actually got busted open right in the nose with that back elbow from Cedric, I believe. I'm not sure if it was the back elbow or the drop kick, but Cedric just clocked Gulak, and he was bleeding profusely. And Cedric won with the lumbar check. Rightfully so, Cedric gets his opportunity against Enzo Amore. Asuka defeated Alicia Fox, that was that. Amore and Nia Jax, they had a little moment. Then we had Cesaro, Sheamus, Samoa Joe. They defeated Jordan and The Shield. Ambrose, he got injured, and I do have an update on Dean Ambrose's injury when we get to the news, rumors, and reports. Stephanie McMahon, she returned. God help the show. God help the show. Matt Hardy, another good moment about this show. He was playing chess with Napoleon. Napoleon's soul was in the vessel of a goldfish. And he basically said that all of his Woken Warriors will triumph over Bray Wyatt. Then the Revival returned. Great to have the Revival back. They defeated Slater and Rhino. And then Kurt Angle said to Slater and Rhino to toughen up. So hopefully, they're actually going to utilize Heath Slater and Rhino like they did on SmackDown. But I don't put it past them to just have this as a filler segment on Monday Night Raw for the next couple weeks. Elias announced that, yes, he is in the Royal Rumble. Elias in the Royal Rumble. And then the women's match after Elias's attempted song, because all the women interrupted him. The women's match ended in DQ, and Stephanie McMahon announced the Royal Rumble. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already stated this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already been vocalizing their opinions about the Women's Royal Rumble. But why do we have to have a Women's Royal Rumble? Why is it mandatory? All of a sudden, like, why do we need to bring politics into wrestling just because, you know, like, everyone needs to get equality? This isn't about equality. Wrestling should not be about equality. Wrestling is about entertainment. Wrestling is about things that are sacred to us. Wrestling is about things that we enjoy to watch. It's not about getting equal opportunities or fighting for equal opportunities because that's what society calls for. The women have done nothing to deserve this Rumble. I'm not saying that they can't do it. I'm not saying that it's going to be a complete disaster. But in the end of all this, what is this really going to accomplish? I mean, it's pretty much the most predictable match on the Royal Rumble card, outside of Brock Lesnar, Kane, and Strowman. It's basically going to be Asuka. That is, of course, unless they add some new people, possibly some people from NXT. I would not put it past them to insert the iconic duo in there. Maybe Nikki Cross. Maybe bring back Trish Stratus or Ronda Rousey. You never know. But ultimately, this has politics and social justice warriors written all over it. Go back to your caves that you've been living in for however many years. Social justice should be kept in the area of politics. Don't bring it into wrestling. Don't bring your cancerous movement into our beloved profession of wrestling, okay? Then we had SmackDown Live. This was actually a decent show. It wasn't overwhelmingly great. It wasn't horrible. But I believe that it did what it needed to do. I believe that WWE is just basically just biding their time until they get to January, because these last couple shows, the last couple weeks, haven't really been all that impressive. But Daniel Bryan kicked us off. Shane came out. Bryan basically said that he was protecting Shane from himself, and he was protecting our idea to have the land of opportunity for everyone, not just people that you like. Shane said something very interesting. He said, from a business standpoint, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, once they are done pulling your empathetic heartstrings, they will stab you in the back. Very, very interesting right there. The tension started to build, and Daniel Bryan said, I don't want to see Shane McMahon turn into Mr. McMahon. And then after that, Bryan was left in charge of the show because of Shane McMahon. Very, very, very interesting. I'm going to see where this leads to. I guarantee you, things are going to start peaking after the Royal Rumble. Things are really going to start to get interesting. But who's going to be the one to pull that trigger first? Will it be Bryan or will it be Shane? Then we had Charlotte. Actually, no, excuse me. I almost skipped what was probably one of the, maybe the fourth best match this week. Not really sure. Yeah, maybe the fourth best match this week on WWE television. We had Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. They defeated the Usos in a very good match. And I predicted this, that they would push Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable into that spot, and they would be the ones to take the titles off of the Usos. So, in my opinion, I believe the best route to go here is Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable are going to take the titles off of the Usos, possibly on the first SmackDown of 2018. First SmackDown of 2018, or possibly at the Royal Rumble. We're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. But nevertheless, it was good tag team wrestling. Charlotte addressed the Women's Royal Rumble. Nothing really too special. Don't really care. Naomi came out, says she was in the Royal Rumble. Riot Squad came out, and Naomi and Charlotte defeated Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott. It was a decent match, but all in all, it meant nothing. Meant nothing. That's all I'm going to say about that. Next, on to probably the most entertaining thing about SmackDown Live. We had the New Day dressed up as a reindeer, an elf, and the gingerbread man. And then we had Aiden English dressed up as Frosty the Snowman and Rusev Claus. I'm telling you, Rusev, I did not like this gimmick at first. I thought they were just giving him a comedic gimmick so that way they can just bide his time until he leaves. But this gimmick is actually over. Now, Rusev is the biggest babyface on SmackDown Live. Props to you. And they were challenged to a match. The New Day was challenged to a match by Rusev Claus and Aiden the Snowman. It turned out to be a very fun match. So, Dolph Ziggler, he celebrated his United States Championship win, and he just said, I've won title after title. I became Intercontinental Champion. I became U.S. Champion. I became World Heavyweight Champion. But you never cared. You never cared. And he said, you want something to remember me by? Placed the U.S. title in the ring and walked out. And I do have some news on that. So then, we had the New Day defeat Aiden English and Rusev. And this was actually a very entertaining match. Kofi Kingston was doing the classic, you can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man deal. And then Aiden English took Big E's flapjacks, put whipped cream and a cherry on them, and he was going to put Xavier through the flapjacks. Kofi took out Rusev, and then we had a flapjack into the flapjacks, in which Byron called, and that's probably the most entertaining thing that's ever come out of his mouth since he got on commentary. No disrespect to him, though. And then in the end, the New Day won. Very entertaining match. Looking to see where this goes. And if I'm not mistaken, if Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable win the tag team titles, they go on to WrestleMania. And Rusev and Aiden English win the tag team titles at WrestleMania. That is going to be a moment to remember. Aiden English and Rusev, if they do not push them as a babyface tag team, they are missing a huge boat. They are missing a huge merchandise boat. They are missing a huge boat on both English and Rusev. I'm telling you, they need to go full in with this Rusev and Aiden English babyface turn and have them win the tag team titles from Benjamin and Gable at WrestleMania. And then in the main event, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Randy Orton defeated Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Jinder Mahal. It was a decent match. Nothing really too special there. 205 Live. This crowd sucked. This was undoubtedly, ever since I started watching 205 Live, this has been the worst crowd. This has been the worst crowd that I have ever watched on 205 Live. This crowd was terrible. I actually saw someone throw a water bottle at Kalisto. I actually hope that guy was escorted out of that building and he was banned from all WWE events. That was incredibly disrespectful. No one gave a shit about anything that happened on this match, and there was actually some decent wrestling on tonight's show. Or on a Tuesday show, rather. There was a lot of good wrestling on 205 Live, and no one gave a shit. This is what pisses me off. I'm sorry, but they really need to move 205 Live from before SmackDown from after SmackDown to before SmackDown, rather. Before SmackDown, the crowd would be hot. The crowd would appreciate it more. It would all in all be a good decision for both the show and the cruiserweights. Metalik and Kalisto versus Gallagher and Kendrick ended via DQ as Kendrick and Gallagher took them both out. Hideo Itami defeated Colin Delaney. Drew Gulak is still golden, whether he is doing his PowerPoint presentation or showing some intensity. Cedric Alexander defeated Drew Gulak in a good match, and Cedric Alexander took out Gulak, and then Arya Daivari tried for a sneak attack on Alexander, and Alexander hit him with a lumbar check. So this match between Enzo and Cedric Alexander is going to build and build and build. I'm guessing, I'm not completely sure, I'm guessing the proper thing to do would be to have this match maybe next week on the Christmas edition, or possibly on the first Raw of 2018. Or if they're probably just going to drag this out, they might do it at the Rumble. But regardless, I do hope Cedric Alexander gets the championship. He is well overdue for a Cruiserweight Championship opportunity. On to NXT. Now, this was perhaps the best episode of NXT in a while. Now, let me tell you something. There have been a lot of good NXT episodes where they've had a great match here, a great match there, a good match here, a decent match there. But there's never really been that one episode where every single little segment on the show was amazing. There's never been that one episode in a while, maybe a couple months, where that every single thing on the show, that one episode that just makes you think that, wow, NXT, man. NXT is doing everything right. This was that kind of episode. So the Undisputed Era, they defeated Sanity in a very good tag team title match. So the Undisputed Era and Sanity, they went back and forth. And then we had Killian Dane. Now, Killian Dane, let me tell you something. Killian Dane is that type of big man that can literally do anything he puts his mind to. Killian Dane is 300 pounds. 300 pounds, and he's doing Braun Strowman-like drop kicks, sentons, Vader bombs, coast to coasts. If Killian Dane is to be pushed as a single star, should Sanity break up, I am all for it. Killian Dane is phenomenal in every sense of the word. So Killian Dane did his patented dropkick senton to Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Adam Cole interfered after Eric Young delivered a neck breaker to Kyle O'Reilly, I believe it was. And then he was going to go up top for the elbow. Adam Cole interfered. Nikki Cross came out of nowhere, and she cross-bodied Adam Cole and just started punching and scratching and clawing him like the insane bitch that she is. And then the referees tried to pull her off. Adam Cole then took out Killian Dane. He was sent into the post. Eric Young hit a tope suicida to Adam Cole, and then he walked right back into the ring to a flying fish hook chop block combination from Fish and O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly have shocked the system again. They are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. Sanity, they've had a good run with them. They've held them since August. Now it was time to give the Undisputed Era a run with them. Now, I originally thought that it was going to be Sanity winning in some type of technicality, and the rematch will be set for NXT TakeOver Philly, and then the Undisputed Era win then. But now that the Undisputed Era won, it got me thinking. The Authors of Pain did not get their rematch for the NXT Tag Team titles because of the Undisputed Era attacking them, causing a disqualification in their match with Sanity. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, they won the tag team titles from Sanity. The only way, the best way I see this playing out is for Undisputed Era and Sanity to replace DIY and the Revival in another classic triple threat match for the NXT Tag Team titles with the Authors of Pain. If the first one in NXT TakeOver Orlando with the Authors of Pain was anything, then I guarantee you that if you put Sanity and Undisputed Era in there with the Authors of Pain for the Tag Team titles in Philadelphia nonetheless, it has all the makings for an early match of the year candidate. And, if possible, since Aleister Black beat Adam Cole in the Fatal 4-Way match, now I have not read the spoilers, so I don't know what's going to happen, but if they want to go the route of the Undisputed Era costing Aleister Black the opportunity to fight for the NXT Championship at TakeOver Philly, they could go with an Aleister Black-Adam Cole feud, and Adam Cole beats Aleister Black, and the Undisputed Era retain the tag team titles in Philly. The Undisputed Era is going to be running the goddamn place. The Undisputed Era is going to be running NXT. Moving on, we had Sabatelli and Moss have a little promo with Heavy Machinery via a cell phone that Tucker Knight was holding. So I'm assuming that those two teams are going to collide somewhere down the road. Ember Moon versus Sonya Deville for the NXT Women's title was announced for next week. Should be a very good match. Ember Moon's first ever title defense. Lars Sullivan defeated Roderick Strong. I actually didn't think that they were going to have this match go very long, considering that they still had Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. But Roderick Strong actually gave Lars Sullivan a tougher test than Cassius Ohno did, in my opinion. Cassius Ohno is very good, but Roderick Strong, he did literally everything in his playbook to take down Lars Sullivan. He was doing Olympic slams, he was doing forearm strikes and elbows, and jumping knee strikes and clotheslines, but in the end, Lars Sullivan was able to take out Roderick Strong with the freak accident. It turned into a very good match. I did not think it was going to go as long as it did. Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate, the trilogy. This was, without a doubt, probably the match of the month. This was probably the match of the month. This was a phenomenal match all around. And Tyler Bate, I don't know how the hell he continued that match. Tyler Bate got his finger on the mat, just bent back, and Pete Dunne stomped it into oblivion. And then he, acted as if he's popping it back into place. I'm not sure if it was kayfabe or if he really did it, but Tyler Bate probably got his finger dislocated, and then he popped it back into place himself. And then he continued the match for 15 more minutes. This match actually surpassed the hour time limit of NXT. These guys were doing everything. Pete Dunne suplexed Tyler Bate off the stairs. Tyler Bate did the Tyler Driver 97. He kicked out of the bitter end. Pete Dunne kicked out of the Tyler Driver. Tyler Bate was diving over the ropes. Pete Dunne reversed the German suplex from the top and hit a second bitter end for the victory. My God, I actually want to see these guys main event WrestleMania. I don't even care. I would rather see Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate for the UK Championship in the main event of WrestleMania than any other match. I don't even care. That match on NXT, let me tell you something. These guys, in no way, shape, or form, can be put on 205 Live. I was okay with the day with Tommy, but these guys, any of the UK guys, cannot be put on 205 Live due to this type of in-ring action. These types of competitors come out once in a lifetime, and you're just going to put them on 205 Live? No way, shape, or form should these guys go on 205 Live. No way, shape, or form. Moving on to the news, rumors, and reports. Ricochet, yes, you heard me right. Ricochet, according to PW Insider, is set to debut in NXT next month. Let me tell you something. I've seen very few of Ricochet's matches, but in the few matches that I saw with Ricochet, I can tell you right now that Ricochet will be a top star in NXT within a few months. Ricochet, without a doubt, is also a competitor that comes around once in a lifetime. WWE cannot pass up their opportunity. If Ricochet is treated like a megastar in NXT, they cannot. They cannot screw him up by putting him on 205 Live. This is the type of competitor that could be main eventing pay-per-views for years to come. Ricochet is also a once-in-a-lifetime type of competitor. I got some news on Dolph Ziggler, according to PW Insider again. A lot of PW Insider reports. PW Insider is reporting that Dolph Ziggler will not be appearing on upcoming SmackDown Live events, although he's still scheduled for live events. So it looks like he will be off of TV to sell his current storyline. However, he did not quit as far as we know. Now, I didn't really think that they were going to go this route because from the way that Dolph Ziggler just kind of went off on a tyrant, kind of went off on just basically a rant of how no one cared, about how he's accomplished so many things in the past, but no one has ever showed him the respect that he deserved. It was almost like, I don't need you. I don't need this company. Go fuck yourself. That's it. He just left the title in the ring. I actually thought that he was done. But apparently, it looks like he's still employed, and I believe that they gave him this title win to keep him with the company. Moving on here, PW Insider is reporting that Randy Orton will currently be working a light schedule in January before taking a few months off. Now, originally, Randy Orton was possibly one of the handful of people that could have been challenging AJ Styles for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. They could still go that route. But in my opinion, it would have either been Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, or Kevin Owens. But if they're going to give Randy Orton a championship match in January, that could be a send-off. That could be a send-off because currently reported from PW Insider, after February 6th, Randy will not be scheduled for any other shows. So it looks like he's going to spend some time with his family. However, I do not know if he's going to miss WrestleMania. Moving on here, I got some news regarding Chris Jericho, and this is my final report of the show. Sports Illustrated reported that Chris Jericho will miss WrestleMania 34, unfortunately, due to his band, Fozzy, performing at a New Hampshire club on April 8th. Now, usually I would wrap up the Lightning Flash update just like that. However, there's a lot of Christmas songs that intrigue me. As Aiden English pointing out, the 12 Days of Rusev. There's also We Wish You a Glorious Christmas, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. AJ Styles is Coming to Town. But my favorite song has got to be this one. Dashing straight to Raw, with his hand up Vince's ass. He comes out every week to booze that could shatter glass. His presence makes me ill, his promos hurt my ears. You could put a turd out there and I swear it'll get more cheers. Oh, Roman sucks, it's really not that hard. The main problem is that Vince is a straightforward retard. Oh, Roman sucks, will Vince ever learn? The only thing that can save him now is a bona fide heel turn. His push was way too soon. He's still forced down our throats. He sounds like a robot, reading promos that Vince wrote. He's booed each place he goes, from Anaheim to Dover. And not even the Shield is gonna get this guy over. Oh, Roman sucks, the message has been sent. Tell me how he's still in the WrestleMania main event. Oh, Roman sucks, this guy's a disgrace. The only thing that's worse than him is his entire fan base. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Lightning Flash Update. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram at DO216. Follow me on Twitter at #1WWE Fan. Do not forget to tune in next week for the final Lightning Flash Update of 2017. Till then, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy everything from the one and only DJ Storms.